The hype is real, hyperadio.com. Flavor show on your airwaves. What it is, it's your big dog D-Funk, man. We do this each and every Friday for Funny Fridays. I got two very, very funny ladies right here next to me. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourselves. We'll start with you.
My name's Danielle DeLuca. They call me Danni D. I'm a Sacramento comic, and glad to be here.
Yeah, and
I am Jacqui Pearl.
Jacqui Pearl.
Yes, they call me the blonde flamingo.
The blonde flamingo.
I'm also a Sacramento comic, and I want live comedy back.
Oh yeah, man, this pandemic has got everything all messed up. Well, first of all, thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys coming on the show. And this pandemic has got things all messed up, man. I hate it. I can't stand it. Live comedy has taken a real hit, man. It really has.
Live comedy, live music, all of it.
Mhm.
All of it.
Entertainment industry altogether. I mean, even award shows. I mean, they can't even have a live audience anymore.
Look at football games.
Yeah, football games. I mean, and basketball games,
Yeah.
and baseball games, and I mean, everything's empty.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy. I never would have believed that if somebody told me a year ago this stuff was going to happen.
Yeah, me either, man.
No.
Me either. Seriously.
Crazy.
Okay, ladies. So, let's get into it. Comedy is what you guys do, and you guys do it well.
Thank
you.
you.
And I just want to let you know that. And I wanted to ask you guys. You can go. Either one of you guys can go first or second. What is it like being a stand-up comedian for people who don't know?
I'll let Jacqui go first.
Oh.
I always love to hear her answer, so I know
Thank
how
you.
to answer mine.
It's terrifying at first when you
Okay.
first start, because especially if you're nervous in front of groups of people,
Right.
and you're up there, it's really like a ballet dance with the crowd.
All
I
right.
mean, that's why Zoom is so hard, and doing it now during the pandemic to just
Yeah.
an empty room is hard.
Yeah, I can't get into Zoom.
I have been lately. It took a while to get in,
Yeah.
but I love doing stand-up. I love having a voice,
Right.
especially as an older female. You know, it's still definitely a sausage fest out there. It's mostly dudes,
Oh yeah.
and I just love being able to tell it from my perspective.
Right.
And I like to relate to the ladies in the room too, because
Okay.
they don't get to hear their story told from stage very
Right,
often.
right,
So
right.
that's
Right.
what it's like.
Okay. I mean, that's a great answer. How about you?
For me, I'd say it's better than the previous addiction I had, which was gambling.
Oh wow.
And I'm addicted to it. I
Mhm.
drink, sleep, only think about comedy.
Yep.
I do Zoom, I do live. I'll stand on the corner and tell jokes.
Uh-huh.
It's
I've seen her do it.
It's a good way. I can't afford therapy, so this is my therapy, and I love it.
You know, I noticed that when I get on stage, because I also do the little stand-up sometimes.
Yeah.
When I get on stage, it's like I'm telling the audience about my most inner, either
Absolutely.
fears, likes, dislikes,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. And when I leave the stage, I feel like I left a therapy session.
For real.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever met a comic who doesn't speak from pain in their life.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and turning that pain into humor
Right.
is and people can relate to it. That's
Right.
that's what's beautiful about it as a
Mhm.
medium. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So, what's more important? Is it actually getting up there and doing it, or is it writing and then getting up there and doing it, or is it both?
For me, Zoom has really helped me because I'm not a good writer.
Really?
So when I'm on Zoom, like obviously it's not the same crowd reaction because you don't really have a crowd. So
No.
I've had to write and to focus, which is then in turn, because I am still on the grind as much as I can here. It's helped me tremendously because when I do that crowd work, or now that I have written jokes, I think getting on stage is way more important. But
Okay.
Well,
You know.
Danni also has the ability to just riff on stage. I mean, she
Really?
can write a joke off the top of her head. She sees somebody in the crowd. She's very good with crowd work too.
Oh,
For
okay,
me,
so you're
I-
like me then.
Yeah.
Because that's how I get down too.
Oh, yeah.
I love bringing my audience into my act.
absolutely,
Yeah, and I admire that about her because I came into this backwards. I'm a writer first and foremost. I
Okay.
mean, I've published books and I've written, all my life. I have a
Right.
degree in journalism.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started as a writer, and for me, that is the important process. That's where I get it in my head and it sticks to my brain like
Yeah.
gum, and then I can get out and. But yeah, I admire Danni because she really does have the ability to just riff off the top of her head the second
Yeah.
she gets up.
And that's the reason I asked that question, because some people have more of the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Versus other people who are like you, who like to write it
Yeah.
and then rehearse it.
Yeah, and
You
they
know.
both work.
I smoke a lot of weed. I don't remember what I did. I don't know what I did yesterday, let alone trying to remember a joke word for word. I have premises and I go from there.
Yeah, man, I tell you, you know, with the weed and the Hennessy for me, you know, those are the two things that help me with my comedy so much. It's ridiculous. I love it.
It takes the edge off too, doesn't
Yeah,
it? A little bit. You're
does.
not
Just
quite
a
so
little
nervous.
bit.
It's
Right.
just little.
Well,
Yeah.
even with that, the nerves still come through sometimes
yeah.
for me, and that's when I have my best sets though.
Right?
I'm really
When you
nervous.
feel it, yes.
Yeah, because I give a damn.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not nervous, then that means you don't care, which
Yeah.
is bad. You know,
Yeah.
at least from my perspective, anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, you guys have been doing it for how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. All right, Jacqui.
It will be 4 years in May, but I'm not counting 2020.
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's just skip over 2020.
Right?
A year and a half then?
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't counting 2020.
Yeah.
Let's subtract the time I had a boyfriend too. So about 6 months.
Oh.
Yeah, you've been doing it about 6 months. Although that whole boyfriend thing was pretty comical.
Oh wow. What about some of your favorite places to perform?
Anywhere for me.
How about top 3?
Okay.
Touch, Vince's. I mean, are we doing mics or like shows?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You know, wherever there's a stage.
Touch, Vince's, and scoreboards.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the touch of class. A lot of people don't say that room.
I love rejection.
It's you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
rejection.
love rejection. I think it makes me feel better.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, how about you, Jacqui?
I call that tough a class because
Yeah.
oh man, I do not do well in that room.
Yeah,
That's not my
You gotta
crowd.
bring your A game.
You got to bring your A game. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing about if you're not funny, they are not gonna laugh.
And they'll
They
let
don't
you know
care.
too.
Yeah.
They will let you know if you're not funny that night.
Yeah.
Then they'll let you know, hey, you're bullshitting. Get off my stage.
I love the honesty. The
Right.
honesty in
Yes,
that
I
room.
love being there. I don't like getting up on that stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Her
No.
and I have never been there together. Actually.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
you guys gotta go together, man.
I'm not.
We gotta-
No. Not if they don't like her.
I ain't bringing this bitch. They don't like her.
I'm not bringing Jacqui with me.
No, they love me. They just don't like me on stage.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
So,
love you?
Jacqui, you never gave me your top
Okay,
3.
my top 3, I would say Savage Henry Comedy Club in Eureka, California.
Okay.
One of the most fun places. It's got a small town feel to it, but when there's a show, everybody turns up, and so it's like a
Really?
community. Yeah, they
Okay.
do the Savage Henry Comedy Festival every year too. Not
Nice.
this year, but this year they did it on Zoom. I would say Laughs Unlimited.
Laughs
I
Unlimited. Good-
love that
good
place.
room,
It's
good
a
room.
great room. You know, lady-owned club. I
Mhm.
love what Jenny's been doing to keep
Yeah,
innovative.
she's
and
awesome.
She's
Yeah, she is.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's just kind of rinky-dink, out of nowhere, podunk bar mics where you don't
Yeah.
expect something, and then
Yeah.
you walk in and you're like, "Whoa, these guys are actually putting their pool sticks down to listen." You
Right,
know?
right. And that's what I hate, pool tables, man. Not the fact that I don't like to play,
Yeah.
but when you are in there doing comedy, pool tables are always distracting.
Clink, clink,
Clink,
clink,
clink,
clink.
clang,
Yeah.
clang, clink, clang, clang. And people do it on purpose, too, because they want to play pool, they don't want to hear you talking.
Yeah.
When they want to hear you talking, then they don't want, it's ridiculous.
That and when there's a ball game on,
Oh, yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
And Vegas, anywhere you're in a small little place with those tabletop casino
Oh,
games,
Right, right.
it's like,
Yeah.
forget it. I did a show once in Vegas where they said, you can talk to the crowd, but don't talk to anybody on the games because we
Mhm.
don't want them to stop spending money. And I'm like, who the hell am I supposed to talk to? I'm in
Right.
a casino, right? It's
Right.
just like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we're live right now. This is hyperadio.com. We're also live on Instagram. Hello,
Mhm.
people. Tap in with us.
Hi, everybody.
We're also live on YouTube. So we're pretty much covering all the bases today. I'm glad you guys came through to speak with me today. You guys got any people you want to say hello to? Shout outs?
Hi, Danny.
We're the only two that matter. I'm just kidding. I'll say shout out to Nick Johnson and my podcast, Gag
Yeah.
Runners.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, it's an interesting crew. It's Nick Johnson, Sharon Smith, Rob something,
Rob
and
something?
me.
Govea. Rob Govea.
My friend.
Come on, Danny.
My friend was a guest on the podcast, and I went to just kind of watch. And I said, you know what? You guys need some fucking female energy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I forced my way on there, and I would say it's better now.
I would say it made a lot of difference.
And I'm the only
Yeah.
one remaining that still does comedy, so
Really?
they need me at this point.
Wow.
But it is
She's
fun.
got all the hookups and connects.
We talk to local comics and interview them and ask them, some super secret questions. And,
Wow.
And it comes out every Monday,
Okay.
and you can find it on anywhere podcasts are played.
All right.
Who was
all
your
right.
guest this Monday?
Yeah, who'd you have?
This Monday we had Marcus Purvell.
All right.
All right.
Last week we had Jay Rich. And
Okay.
then
Oh, Jay's
Saul,
funny fucker.
Saul Trujillo. How do you say?
Oh, yeah. I
Trujillo.
know him.
So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
Spanish enough to
Saul.
say that.
Saul.
Saul.
Shout
I
out to Saul.
I know.
I mean, I love a lot of people in this community, so I'm not just going to say hi to everyone because
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
exactly.
no, no,
I'll
no.
forget someone and then
Yeah.
they'll email me.
Yeah.
I want to just give a shout out to all the people doing Zoom mics and keeping it alive. It's been my sanity.
Really?
You know, yeah, just,
Really?
Pete Munoz does one.
I know, I love him.
Nico
Okay.
has is that Displaced Comedians?
The Godfather.
Godfather. Sam, Athena and Sam.
Yeah.
What is that one? Hypothetical comedy, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you guys get along very well. Do comics usually get along with each other, or is it a lot of cattiness because you're all competing for the same stage and the same spotlight and sometimes the same
Want me
crowds?
to take this?
So, I mean, what is it like with relationships with other comics? People you don't know even,
Honestly, there's room for everyone.
honestly.
And, okay, so last year the vibe was not so great.
All right. Yeah, be
but-
real about it.
The women, I feel, in the Sacramento community have worked really hard on creating a positive vibe for ourselves because it's, women normally get, oh, they're stupid, they're catty, they're bitchy, they're PMSing.
Uh-huh.
So we've worked really hard to create a good vibe around here. And, as of right now, I would say there's just only a couple that we need to get rid of, and then we'll be back to normal.
I totally agree, not naming names. But
no,
the
no,
thing
you don't
is,
want to do that.
Nah,
the
they
thing
know
is,
who they are.
I can't tell Danny's story. She can't tell mine. So
Right.
they're very different jokes. They come from different places.
Right.
So and I don't deal with bullshit and drama. I just
Yeah, I don't
won't.
either.
I
Okay,
won't. And if there's
okay.
somebody out there who that's their main thing, I don't fuck with them.
Right.
I just
Absolutely.
don't.
It just brings you down.
Yeah, why, and I will help comics write.
Yeah.
If I think of something and I'm like, whoa, I could never say that on stage, but Danny sure as hell could. I'll call her
Right.
up and be, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Take
Right.
it and go with it,
Or if she's on stage and she says something, then you can throw a tag her way.
Absolutely.
Or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I want to
dope.
see everybody who's grinding hard,
Succeed.
succeed. I really
Yeah.
do.
Well,
With
it's
a few
different.
exceptions.
Yeah.
It's just if you're constantly just like, oh, well, look at what they have, look at what they have, look at what they have. It's,
Mhm.
why don't you focus on you and then you'll figure your shit out?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stay in your own lane.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a friend who calls that compare and despair.
Oh,
If you're
wow.
always comparing yourself to somebody else, then
Yeah.
you're
And
not
then
doing
gonna
yourself
be
any
you.
favor. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are times when I see a comic and I'm like, God, I fucking hate him. Look how good he is. Look how perfect that set was. Oh, but it's
Oh,
it's
wow.
that love hate kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. I want you to fall off
Yeah,
the
it's
stage.
all a
It's
good
just like,
thought.
damn,
Yeah.
I aspire.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like everyone's competing for the same stage, the same spotlight, the
Yeah.
same spot, especially in one community. Whether it's a
Right.
small community or even a big community.
Right.
It's the same thing because comedy is a small world.
It is.
Everybody knows everybody.
They really,
And-
especially now with Zoom.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we're all on the internet. I mean, I've met people from New York to Texas
Yeah.
to Oregon. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna get in my car when this stuff opens up. Probably with you, Danny.
Oh,
you,
nice.
You can come along too.
Oh, okay. Got room for me in the trunk. I'm down.
No, we won't. We're tie you to the top like a Christmas tree.
Oh my goodness.
And drive cross country and probably have a room or three in every single state I went through now.
Now, see, there it is. That's something that's beneficial.
The networking part of
Networking
Zoom
is ridiculous.
ridiculously huge.
Like
Wow.
was it September or October? I got to go to Buffalo, New York, and Cleveland, Ohio, to do comedy
You did.
from Zoom.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the vibe like there? Cause
Cleveland was off the hook. It was so.
Really?
I had low expectations for Ohio,
Yeah.
just because
It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. I had such a great time. The crowds were awesome. There were people out there that didn't, give a fuck about COVID.
Oh, wow.
And they're still remaining open, But New York, Buffalo, upper state New York was, a little, it's like doing Brooklyn, Roseville.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I would think
yeah.
that the crowds would be a lot harder being, out there.
In the city.
Cleveland was fun. I did 3 shows out there. It was a good time.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I've been up north and out east and west and other places doing comedy. So I like to travel and do comedy. I like to get out of Sacramento, California, which is where we are right now. If you're listening, I like to get out of here and do it other places.
I think it makes a difference. Plus, you always come home from the road with more stories and
you
more
have
jokes
to.
to
Oh,
tell.
hell
you
yeah.
know?
If you're only good for Sacramento crowds and Sacramento people and all your jokes are like, oh, well, a black guy in Roseville,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you go somewhere else, it just really, it's more training ground. It's a better training ground to see
Absolutely.
what other people like.
Absolutely. Okay. So you did your shout outs and you gave your shout outs to your favorite rooms. How about some of your favorite comedians that have actually made it? Like some of the big names. Give me your top 3.
Go ahead. You can go
Oh,
first.
you go first.
Louis C.K.
Okay.
I really like Roseanne, early Roseanne.
Early Roseanne. All
Early
right.
Roseanne.
Before the national anthem?
Yeah, way before that. Like
Okay.
when she was still grinding at the Comedy Store and trying.
Nice.
Nowadays, if I had to pick someone, I'd say either Big J. Okerson or Whitney Cummings.
All right. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Jacqui?
I love old George Carlin before he got grumpy and he
Yeah.
got a little bitter towards the end.
Right.
But he's just so brilliant. He's so spot on. He always has a
Okay.
message, but it's a hilarious one. He's educating you while making your stomach hurt from laughing.
Right.
Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Man is a freaking genius.
Yeah,
the
he
man is a genius.
Yep.
Even when he did that 18-minute special just talking about what was going on, it wasn't
Yeah.
even jokes and
Yeah.
it's still just pow, and he can tell a story like nobody
Oh
else.
yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. That's what I found about Richard Pryor. Could tell a story too very well.
Yeah, and that's kind of my joke style. Is I'm a storyteller.
Storyteller.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You are too.
And then Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Rest
That guy
in
got
peace.
on stage and it was like somebody slipped cocaine in his coffee, man. I mean,
I think he did it knowingly and willingly.
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neill. Like,
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hell
He
yeah.
taught me a lot
Absolutely.
about diabetes and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Gone
and
way too soon, though.
Somebody
Oh,
somebody
God.
was roasting him, I think, on a roast battle or something like that, and he was like, "How you gonna talk shit about me? I'm dying."
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
He's fucking amazing.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
And then the other person I really like, female comic, is Kathleen Madigan.
Okay.
She's kind of homey, Midwestern, she's from Missouri, but
Yeah.
and she's not dirty or edgy. She's just talking about real life, and it's hilarious.
Okay. Now, speaking of female comedians, do you guys find it harder to, or do you think it's hard, or more, I should say, do you think it's more difficult for female comics coming up, or even trying to just get on stage?
I don't. I think funny is funny. It
Okay.
doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl.
You've never had a problem?
Oh no, I've had problems,
Oh,
but
well.
that's just my mental. I would be if I was a guy, if I was a girl, if I'm funny, then I'll get stage time.
Right.
I wouldn't say I've had issues like, oh, you're a girl. Like, I've had things where, like, you were booked on the show because we needed a female, and that's not what I want.
Like ladies' night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ladies' night or a lineup full of guys, and they're like, oh, we needed a chick, so. But, I mean, I guess it's nice to be thought of like that, but I would like to just be thought of because I'm funny.
Because you're funny, right. Because funny is funny.
Exactly.
Yeah, what do you think, Jacqui?
I would say that if you're a female comedian starting out, the beginning is hard because you don't right off the bat get the respect.
Yeah.
The dudes
Yeah.
walk in and they're like, comedian. There have been millions of times where I'm with a car full of dudes and I'll
Right.
walk into a room and they'll assume I'm somebody's girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just
I've seen that.
and then one of the comedians will go, she's a comic too, and they're like, oh, are you funny?
Right.
I'm like,
right.
sit down and watch, bitch.
Right. Are you funny? Well, then tell me a joke.
Tell
I
me-
hate
yeah,
that.
oh, don't you hate
Oh,
that?
that's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke then. Pay me, motherfucker. Then I'll tell you a
Yeah,
joke.
I always say, what do you do? And they're like, an accountant. I'm like, all right, you come over, do my books, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you some jokes while you're working on my shit for
Exactly.
free.
Do my taxes,
Or you
bastard.
can add this to your set.
Okay.
You can add that
yeah.
to your set. Like
To
that's
that-
what
yeah.
people tell me.
To
all
that
the
Yeah.
little
time.
skit
Yeah.
thing. Are you still doing that little skit thing you do?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That little thing that you do.
That little thing.
They don't realize how difficult it is to do stand-up comedy. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
pretty hard for those listening and that don't know. It's not an easy thing because you have to write and you have to appeal to different audiences.
Yeah,
People-
read the room.
Yeah, you have to read the room. You've got bookers who like people, and they have certain people that they like, certain people that they don't like.
Yeah.
So you won't make certain shows. You have people who are other comics who hate on you because you're good or because they think you're not good.
Love that when that happens.
Yeah, or one way or the other.
Yeah.
So there's a dance that you have to do, and it's a delicate balance, to make it to where you want to be.
And the promotional stuff, trying to promote yourself without looking like an egotistical maniac.
Absolutely.
That's a difficult balance
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the female thing.
Okay.
I think in the beginning it is harder.
Okay.
When you're starting out, and it's scary too. You're walking into dive bars by yourself, and you're the only chick in there sometimes.
I was doing that before comedy.
Yeah, you were. Still are.
Oh wow. Well, hey, you gotta have a good time.
Right.
But I think as you gain that, but you got to work really hard. There
Yeah.
are comics that just come into comedy because they think it's a breeding ground for hookups. You
Yep.
know, and
Yep.
Do not fuck
do not
comics.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Not male or female.
It
We
doesn't
are
work out
full of issues.
because you'll end up as part of their act.
You
Well,
always do. if you
absolutely,
fucking
and
Yeah.
and comics are gossips.
Yeah.
They talk, they talk and they talk and they talk, and
Mhm.
it's just. So I would say for a female, don't go in there with that. I
Because
mean,
once you fuck that up here, from experience, once you fuck up your name, it's very hard
very
to
hard to
fix
clean
it.
it
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to take the dirt off your name when you get dirt on it.
Because
Yeah.
you want to
Really.
fit in, so you're like, oh, I'll sleep with this guy.
Yeah.
And then, you do, and then it's like, oh, well,
Why am I not getting booked for this show or
Yeah,
that show?
yeah.
well,
or
and that's the
in
other
this
thing.
room
I
or that
don't.
room?
I don't ever want anybody to think I got booked because I sucked somebody's dick. You know,
Right.
I don't want that.
Right.
I'm like, no, I got booked because I'm funny. I'm going to
Yeah.
show up on time.
Yeah.
I'm not difficult to work with. That's why I want to get booked.
Exactly. I'm not high maintenance. I can do my set and leave and that's it.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, once you're in it, though, I do think sometimes it's a little easier being female because I'll see a flyer and I'll be like, you don't have well, just like you got into your podcast, you don't have any female energy in there, throw me in.
Right.
Or, you don't have any, whatever dynamic it is. These are all 20-year-olds, throw me in. I'm 55,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think there are advantages to that. I think there are some disadvantages to road tripping because you're mostly with dudes and sometimes their girlfriends, their wives don't want you.
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes
no.
just like if you and a male comic wanted to go somewhere, like sometimes they're just like, oh man, we should add someone on. And it's like, that's fine, you can, but like just the speculators, sometimes
Yeah.
that talk, I don't really pay attention. I don't give a shit. You want to talk about me, that's fine. You're not paying my bills.
Right.
Talk
Yeah.
all day. The more you talk about me, hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
manifest it.
How about telling me and the audience about your best show that you've had and your worst show? Let's start with the best one.
Good Lord.
If you can pick one.
You get to go
I know you
first.
guys have done plenty of shows, but if you can pick one that stuck out to you as like the show that you were like, wow, this is what I want to do. I know where I'm at and I'm in the right space right now.
Like the first time that happened or just one I remember?
One that sticks out to you.
Okay. I would say, again, several shows at Laughs, a couple Punchline. I would say probably the first Savage Henry Comedy Festival I went to.
Okay.
Pete Munoz brought me up there, and I got to feature for him for
Nice.
the first time I'd ever
That was
featured
your first
in a club.
feature?
Well, in a club setting.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did, I think, 25 minutes.
Nice.
And it was just, I completely lost myself. I was in the flow, and
Yeah.
it was just happening.
Yeah.
It was just, everything hit on that one.
Yeah.
And I was on a high for 3 days after
Yeah,
that.
and as a comedian, if you're not a comic listening to this, you don't really know what it's like when you're up there and something just works. It just
Pops.
works. Everything you do, you get a good belly laugh
It's
from
magical.
the entire audience. It's very magical. It's like heroin almost. I've
Yeah.
never tried heroin, but it's like heroin almost. I mean, it's
I
a
would
high.
imagine, yeah.
It's a high that you can't, replicate. You can't.
Right.
So we try to do it every time we go up there.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, it doesn't always work.
Yeah. The worst that I ever had, it was a rinky-dink bar, but it was full that night.
Okay.
There wasn't anything else going on, and so
Okay.
it was full that night of both audience members and then a fuck ton of comics who just came out. Really good comics. I mean,
yeah.
Chelsea Beers and Kyrie Shabazz was there.
Kyrie, all right.
It was all of these people, and I was fairly new.
Okay.
I was probably 5-6 months in. I had no
Okay.
business being on that show.
Uh-huh.
And the comics who weren't on the show were just there having a great time, and I was having a great time. And somebody told me I needed to talk more about my personal struggles and stuff, and so I'd just been through a divorce.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I got up on stage and I was gonna tell this story, and it just hit me, and I realized I'm not ready to. This has not been processed yet,
Oh.
and I just started crying.
Crying on stage?
On stage in front of all these comics I respected, bailed on my set like 4 minutes in and just left. And I decided, you're not funny, Jacqui. You suck. Don't do comedy. And I quit comedy.
Yeah, I've quit a couple times.
Yeah. My friend wouldn't let me quit. He kept calling me. He said, let's go to the Bay. Let's go. I said, I'm done. I'm not funny. He said,
Yeah.
you're funny. You're going. He said, no, you're going. I would not go. I would not go. 5 days later, he called my daughter and he said, tell your mom to get her sorry ass out of bed, get dressed, and tell her you're taking her out for dinner. And then
Yeah.
he showed up and kidnapped me to the Bay, and I did 5 mics that night.
Nice.
Was it Tom?
It was Tom Baum.
Tom
Yeah,
Baum.
Tom
Oh,
Baum.
yeah. Tom Baum. He's a friend of the show, so
And
shout
I
out to Tom
smashed
Baum.
all 5 of those sets. And I was like, all right, I'm back on the horse. Let's go.
There you go. There you go.
So.
It takes people like Tom Baum in order to get you out of your slump.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
to speak. It really does. He's one of those guys that will tell you to get your ass out
Oh, yeah.
and get going. I mean, I was like on the downslope of wanting to give it up. And then that's when I first met Tom Baum, and we started doing mics and stuff together.
Yeah.
Which was cool. So, shout out to him.
Yeah. He's got a
How
big
about
heart.
you? How about you, Danny?
Okay, I will say the worst I've ever done was at Touch.
At Touch?
At Touch. So
Okay.
I'd gone there for the first time with Tom Baum, and
All
I
right.
did great. Right, I went up right after
That's
Kyrie,
right.
and I did great, and I was on a cloud 9.
Okay.
I went back the next Sunday by myself,
Oh.
and I got a little drunk and I fell,
Oh.
and then no one like I fell, and all these people were like, "I'm not touching her."
Yeah.
And so I hopped up real quick, and then Regina called me up on stage. I don't know what happened, but I was 2 minutes into my set. No one's laughing. You can
Yeah.
hear a pin drop in there.
Oh Lord.
And
Hate
this
those.
lady in the back's like, nah, we don't want to hear these sucker mom jokes. And I was
Oh
like,
damn.
and I was like, all right, Regina, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Regina's like, no, you got 2 more minutes. Say something funny. Come
Yep.
on. She's like, I
Yep.
know you have it.
Yep.
I love
And
Regina.
It still didn't happen. No one laughed. I
Yeah.
still stayed up there, but she was like, how'd that feel? And I was like, that was horrible.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I just want to go home. And she's
Yeah.
like, you want to know what you need to do? Go home and write. She's like,
There
come
you
back
go.
next Sunday.
There you go.
And so that's what I did. My best, I wouldn't say it was really like a show. I mean, I don't know. I really like intimate, moments where I feel like I do well. I was at Vince's at an impromptu just thing that I set up, and I only invited 6 or 7 comics
yeah.
to come out last
Okay.
Wednesday. And there was 14 people there, and I was able to, stuff like that's more near and dear to my heart.
So you like smaller crowds?
I do.
Really?
I do.
I like bigger crowds for some reason.
I do a lot of crowd work, so it's hard when you have a bigger, a huge crowd. you
Yeah,
know?
true.
I do like Punchline. I haven't done it in a while, obviously, because they're closed.
Obviously,
I've
yeah.
never performed at Laughs yet, but I am
Yeah.
working on that.
You
Okay.
haven't?
You
No.
will.
I thought you did.
Once
Never.
they open up
Oh,
again, you
shit.
will.
Yeah.
You'll be there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's my goal. But
Yeah.
for now, I'd say, just last Wednesday was every time I get up there and do well is my favorite. Every time I get up there and get rejected is my favorite.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
And what about you, Jacqui? You like small crowds or big crowds?
I was just thinking about another one of my favorite rooms. It was me and Mario Hillman and Robert Berry.
Okay.
And it was this kind of rinky-dink brewery. And
they weren't,
and they weren't usually open past like 6 on Fridays or something. It was a weird thing. So nobody knew they were open. And there was probably 5 or 6 people in there.
Really?
You know, including the bartender.
Yeah.
And we just looked at each other and went, let's just do it. And it was one of the most intimate, crowd interactive. All 5 of those people were so in it, and it was we still talk about it. It was probably 2 years ago, and all 3 of us still talk about what a great show that was. So it's weird, and you know, and then you can get in front of 300 people and
you get nothing.
Yeah,
that's happened. It's weird, you know, because it's like, how can all of you be quiet
right.
at the same time?
Right.
Yeah.
I did a show at a skate park, Sacramento Ram.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
It's an indoor-outdoor skate park in Sacramento, and you know, people they're skating. They're all skating. They're drinking. There's barbecues out back. There were tents. It was kind of like a flea market kind of thing.
Okay.
And I thought, how in the hell am I going to get these 23-year-old kids to get off their phones and their skateboards and listen to mom here?
Right.
And so I went and I started going around talking to the ladies. You know, all the gals watching their boyfriends skate. And I'm like, I'm really nervous. I have to get up there. They're like, you play music? And I'm like, no, I'm a comic.
You're
they're like,
such a liar, Jacqui. Everyone loves Jacqui. Like, she doesn't even have to go and fake the funk. Like, everywhere we go, bitches love Jacqui.
Right.
But they all came in and made their boyfriends put their skateboards down, and they listened to me the whole time I talked.
Beautiful.
But it's that one-on-one connection. And if you get that with the crowd sometimes, I mean, you work the room too sometimes before you get up.
Oh, yeah. I always get there early. I try to watch what they're into and just see. But also at the same time, you know, I don't have my voice isn't full. Like, I'm still grinding. I'm still new. So like I don't have the capability at this point, I feel like, to capture, you know, 300-400 people listening to me at one time. Like, I'm just, my cadence isn't there yet. So
you know, you got that 5-year find your voice type of deal going on, right?
Right.
Well, you had a packed out room at Alvin's place in Roseville.
Yeah.
That
really?
And
smashing.
So, I mean, there was probably like 70 people there. I mean, I have performed for large crowds and it has gone well, but
see?
You know, I feel like I'm still working on.
You did really well that set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, is there anything we didn't cover that you guys want to talk about?
I want to shout out to my kids because I
I
love you.
Mine too. Hi.
Mommy loves you.
Happy birthday to Sophie's boyfriend, Brandon.
Okay.
Fucking birthday.
I want to know what you've been up to comedy-wise. If you're not
actually
doing
not much. Honestly, I haven't really been doing a lot since, you know, with the pandemic and everything. And then I had to stop going to mics because no one was there. And I said, well, I'm gonna try to get booked on some stuff, but I wasn't able to do that. So I'm looking at trying to revitalize and restart my comedy career once this pandemic is over. You know, because I can't, like I said, I can't get into the whole Zoom thing. I don't know why.
I think you should give it another shot. And I think you should do it in an easy room. You know, one that is just really a bunch of comics hanging out. Because that's a fun hang time.
Yeah, it is. I notice performing in front of comics is rough sometimes. Because comics don't laugh. What we do is say, oh, that was funny. Oh, that was hilarious. Or that wasn't funny. But we don't laugh.
I would say just maybe log into like a Zoom hangout at first to try to get the vibe down, you know, just to feel it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you still, I mean, I liked it automatically just because of the networking capability.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh shit, you're in New York? Oh, can I come visit you? Like, I would love to come out there.
Yeah.
But it just, you know, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
No. The Zoom's not for everyone, but I'll try it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll send you links.
All
yeah.
right, cool.
Maybe we should all do
it's
Woodham's Monday night.
Okay. Right on. And then once comedy starts up again, we can all go.
Oh,
and
I can't
get
wait.
mics together and yeah, most definitely. And I'll definitely have you guys back on again once comedy starts, so that way we can talk about shows you guys are doing.
Yeah, because we ain't doing nothing right now.
You guys don't have anything coming up at all?
All my stuff is Zoom. I'm not booked on anything like
No?
live. Not till I'm doing podcasts and Zoom shows.
Wow. I mean, that's discouraging to hear that. I thought you guys might have something, coming up at, like even a month from now somewhere.
No, people don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They can't predict when they're going to open again. We're going to be closed down till.
My goal is, as long as I can afford the plane ticket, I'll be at the psychedelic show in January. And
Okay. Now,
But,
see, there we go.
It's a Tom Bomb show, and we'll
A
see what
blast.
happens. Yeah, it's a fucking blast every time I do it.
Oh, yeah.
I love hallucinogenics, Tom Bomb, and comedy.
And
so
comedy, we can put the three together, and we got a winner.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on the Flava Show for Funny Fridays. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no doubt.
Making me put pants on and get out of my
Anytime.
house.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing pants too.
Anytime you guys want to come on, you guys are always welcome, okay?
Yours even.
Don't say that.
We might be here every Friday.
Every day.
You guys are always welcome.
No, you're not.
All right, so this is the
right.
Flava Show. It's Funny Fridays on your radio. Shout out to everybody on YouTube
Hey guys.
for checking us out, and doing the damn thing. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. How y'all doing? Peace, love, and hair grease. All right, that mix is coming up for you at 8 o'clock. Keep it right here for that and a whole lot more. All right, we're going to keep it moving.
Hype
We're going to keep it
Radio.
grooving. HypeRadio.com. Let's go.
Yeah.
Woo.